Okay, our challenge in this aviation use case 1 scenario is that there is reports of flooding and inundation that's threatening a hospital in northern San Francisco. To address this, we want to plan a drone survey mission, and the tool we're going to start with is FME Data Inspector. So we have this preloaded with some OpenStreetMap data for highways and amenities. And in particular, if I turn on the amenities, we can see that this is the hospital that is under threat that we need to plan evacuation for, and we want to look for landing sites for helicopters. Now, in order to support this, we're going to add a WFS. Now, Data Inspector is FME's tool for consuming or for reading and inspecting data. So, in addition to AXM, there are more than 350 vector and raster formats supported. So right now, what we're interested in is WFS. And so it's going to be AFX delivered over WFS from Snowflake's server. And we have the configuration options for that server and the access credentials. So now we query the list of available layers. We'll select everything and let that load up. Now, one of the main principal benefits of AFX for mapping is that it is more cartographically oriented. So as we watch the messaging going back and forth between the WFS client and server, we can see that it's relatively easy to portray AFX data. So those are the heliports, the planned sites in the north, and we're going to focus more initially on the airport in the south. All right. So let's zoom in to San Francisco Airport, and we'll start with the airport Aerodrome reference point. And I can zoom in on that. So that location there is the reference point for KSFO, or San Francisco International. And that also is essentially the reference point for refueling. So this is going to be the staging point for our helicopter missions to evacuate the hospital. Okay. And can turn on the runways and also vertical structure. So there's a vertical structure here, and you can see that it's of type reserved, and we have our runway elements. So again, these are similar, related to the AXM counterparts, but easier to render on a map. Okay, so we'll turn back on some of our reference information here from the OpenStreetMap. And now we'll pan north to have a look at where we're planning to send our drones. So zooming in around where the hospital is. So here, so there's the hospital location. And these are the proposed sites for the heliport. Examine each of those. And here are some vertical obstructions. Now, in order to provide a bit more context for this, I'm going to add some buildings data. And we'll zoom right into that area. I'll have to toggle that back and forth just to better inspect. And there's the... Okay, so we have one heliport proposed location here. And then there's another one on top of this building. I have to turn off that building in order to see it. So chances are the one in the open field might be more accessible than this one on top of a building, which might be difficult to get to. In terms of the vertical structures that might get in the way, those are these two locations here. So there's one there and one here, and those are of type power line pylon. Okay, so judging from that and from the distances from obstructions, it looks like this one that's out in the field is probably in the best position, least obstructed. So that's probably where we want to send our drone to investigate further. And I can look at the distance from that point to the closest building that shows up in the log. Approximately 35 meters. And finally, what we can do is zoom back out and just look at what the distance is for our drones to fly if we launch our drones from the airport, just to plan our mission, how far that will be from there to KSFO. So that's the approximate flight path, and that distance is approximately 20 kilometers. So that is essentially brings us to a conclusion for looking at the use of AFX GML served up from Snowflake's WFS server for use in planning a drone survey mission. Thank you.